Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Astrology with your friend Gretchen Heidel, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. And I am here tonight on Monday night. It is our Monday night date on Facebook. If you're joining me live, I go live every Monday night on Facebook on my astrology updates page by Gretchen Heidel. It is Monday, the 15th, May 15th, 2023. And there's so much astrological energy this week to go over. OMG, it is a lot. So if you're just joining me live, welcome, welcome. I love to see you. And go ahead and post below your astrological sign and where you're tuning in from. And if you're watching on YouTube, I always repost this post on YouTube. Go ahead and like the post. To give me a like and a thumbs up, and let me know what astrological sign you are. Okay, so there's so much energy to go. It's like crazy. I would love it if somebody would put a comment into the comments so that I know that you guys can hear me and everything's working okay on Facebook. But yes, I'm live every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Facebook, and then also the co-recording on YouTube. So welcome, welcome. We have a lot. It is a lot. It is a lot of astrological energy, and I'm going to try my best to go over everything that is going on, but there is just a lot. And so some of it's good and some of it's not. So it's a very mixed bag, but expect a lot of energy. But first, the big announcement: Mercury retrograde is over. So Mercury retrograde has ended officially yesterday on May 14th, Mother's Day at 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. It finally ended. Mercury is no longer retrograde. It's called Mercury direct or Mercury stationary direct. And basically that's in Taurus. So now, you know what I'm always going to say. Give it a second. It needs a minute to kind of turn around and do its thing and sort of, get rolling again and all of that good stuff. The shadow period is still going to be going on. But I don't really count shadow periods. I mean, I know a lot of people talk about shadow periods, and I think it is good to know the shadow period, but the people have asked me, should I not do anything during the shadow period? Well, if you add up all the shadow periods and all the retrogrades, you'd spend, over half of the year not doing things. So I don't really count the shadow periods. I think it's more of like a description that Mercury is not functioning sort of 100% yet, but it is at least going in the right direction. Yay! So Almir is joining the broadcast. He's a Taurus, Cancer, and Sagittarius placements. Welcome, Almir. And I believe this is your birthday week. Ashley, oh yay! Sagittarius Sun, Taurus rising, Libra moon, from Vermont. Welcome, welcome. I love that. Holly from Colorado, welcome. So I love that you guys are commenting, and that also gets the algorithm rolling. So if you like the broadcast and you and you do, Wendy said, howdy gang, welcome. Wendy from Vermont, Aquarius. And Wendy, thank you so much. You always post on my YouTube page, and that really helps my YouTube channel. So welcome. Andrea, yay, still in Aries, Gemini, Cancer combo. Yes. Almir said, yes, on Wednesday is your birthday. So yeah, we have a lot of astrological energy. Last week was a little more quiet. Last week was a little bit more subdued and a little more calm, but this week is quite different. And I kind of gave you a little preview of that last week. I told you I'd be talking a lot, but last weekend, I just want to say, I don't know if how you guys experienced over the weekend. Andrea wishing Almir happy birthday. Yes, everybody, please wish Almir happy birthday on the broadcast if you're watching. But yeah, basically, last weekend was kind of a love fest. There was actually a lot of really nice astrological placements, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that was good. At least we had like a 3-day kind of bubble, 4-day bubble. Even on last Thursday, there was some nice. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was kind of a nice bubble. There was a lot of nicer astrological energies, but we have this week is going to be kind of a lot. And so, and then we also had Mercury went direct yesterday too. So that was nice on Mother's Day. So we don't have to worry about that, though. Like I say, give it like a week or so before it really gets rolling and really gets moving, because then, you know, it gives it a little time for it to function properly. Mercury is not quite functioning properly yet. So it starts today. We have a lot of energies going on, and I kind of have been in a quandary of how I'm going to cover this. So actually, I'm not going to start with today. I'm going to start with tomorrow, where Jupiter is on the move. Jupiter is going to be moving into the astrological sign of Taurus. Jupiter in Taurus on May 16th, 2023 at 1:20 p.m. Eastern time. So earlier than that if you're out on the West Coast. And so Jupiter in Taurus is a big freaking deal, okay? One of the big sort of highlights of this year, but actually we have two highlights of this year going down this week. So like I said, there's so much to get into, and I'm probably going to say the word Taurus like 4 million times in this broadcast, just to let you know. Disclaimer alert. Okay, so Jupiter into Taurus. Jupiter has been in Aries, Pisces for the last year. And now it's going into the astrological sign of Taurus. Jupiter is typically in each sign for roughly about a year or so, all sort of said and told. It's usually a year. Sometimes it goes retrograde and then it goes into, you know, back into Aries or whatever the case is. But Jupiter is going to be solidly in Taurus for months to come. And, you know, this is such a big deal. And this is This Week in Astrology video. So like my job is kind of going over what the forecast is going to be like. But this actually warrants its own separate video. So I might do that for YouTube and just do a separate Jupiter in Taurus video. So please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can see those types of broadcasts. So anyway, so Jupiter in Taurus is a big, huge deal. Almir said, yes, I've been waiting for this. I'm a little sad to see it go out of Aries. I'm in Aries myself, so I'm a little sad to see it end in Aries, because I'll tell you what, when Jupiter was on my sun, so if you are a Taurus, you are ground zero and you will be feeling this. But remember, this is one of the big planets. There's two planets that I would say in predictive astrology are two of the most biggest important planets. I always cover these two whenever I do a personalized astrological session for somebody. I always cover these two planets, and it's Jupiter and it's Sagittarius. Sagittarius is problems usually, and like kind of, you know, all this kind of stuff that we have to work on and homework and life lessons and all those things. But Jupiter's a different story. Jupiter blows us up, makes us bigger. Okay. Now that can be a problem if it's too big, you know, so sometimes things can be too big and too out of control, but you know, it usually helps us. Jupiter overall is a more positive planet. It's optimism, it's good luck, good fortune, and it's blowing up and making things bigger in Taurus. So if you have Taurus in your astrological chart, I should say where you have Taurus in your astrological chart. Oh, I said Sagittarius. I'm sorry, Andrea. I meant Saturn. Saturn and Jupiter, not Sagittarius. Thank you very much for everybody's jumping on it. You guys are the best. Yeah, I'm sorry, Saturn. So Saturn and Jupiter are the two biggest planets, and Saturn is our life lessons, Saturn's obstacles, delays, and sort of problems, really. Where Jupiter is good luck, good fortune, and optimism and expansion, making something bigger. So wherever you have Taurus in your chart, it'll affect you, and it'll affect you even more if you have planets there, like the sun or like the moon or Venus or Mars or whatever planets that you have in Taurus. That's going to make it bigger as well. Jupiter in Taurus is going to make that sector of your chart bigger. So it's important or good to know what area is it in your astrological chart, what house is it in, and that'll kind of give you more of an idea of how that will affect you on a personal level. But just know that it's going to make it bigger. And Taurus in general is love and finances, love and money now. Now we've had Uranus in Taurus for a while, and we've had the nodes of the moon going through Taurus for a while. And now we have Jupiter going through Taurus. So we have a lot of astrological energy. So Wendy said, for example, it's in her second house. So second house is the house of money, honey. So even if you don't have planets there, which she said she does not, Wendy said no planets, but it's second house of money. That's your financial cycle. And so it depends on what house it's in. But in general, Taurus is our finances because the natural ruler of the second house in astrology is Taurus. So basically, it's going to make love and money bigger. Now, when it finally hits Uranus, that's going to be, that's going to be bringing instability potentially to money. But we're not there yet. And Uranus is almost at the end of Taurus, like towards in the 19, I think, degrees area. So we don't have to worry about that for a little bit. And I would always say, don't worry about astrology. It's something that comes and that we basically do this. So Ashley said Taurus rising. So if it's your rising sign, it's your first house always. So that's easy. So that's the area of self. The rising sign is how you outwardly appear to other people. So it just depends on basically what the deal is in your chart. But how do you get along with Taurus? If you don't even know like what planets I have, I'm new to astrology, I've never even looked at my chart, or you've never had a session with me, but if you have a session with me, you will know where your Taurus is. Basically, how do you get along with Taurus? How do you feel this time of year? Because this time of year is Taurus season. So how do you feel this time of year? That's a good indication to know. Between the sort of April 21st to May 21st time, how do you feel in those months? Or do you know Tauruses in your life? Do you get along with Tauruses? Are they your besties, or are they your frenemies, or are they who are they in your life? And I always say that will help you to know. So if you are a Taurus, you are ground zero and you will feel this directly hitting you head on. And then of course, if you are a Scorpio, you get the opposition of Taurus, which is still of Jupiter, which is still not a bad thing, really. If you think about Jupiter mostly is not bad unless if it intermingles with another planet, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. So basically with Jupiter, it's our good luck, our good fortune, optimism, expansion, making something bigger. So if you're trying to make your finances bigger or your love life bigger or whatever it is you're trying to do, then basically that's going to make it bigger. And so that's an amazing thing. And so it's good to know where it is in your chart, but again, you don't have to. Now, if you are another earth sign, if you're a Virgo or a Capricorn, you will be getting a trine, which is a positive alignment and a positive experience with Jupiter there. If you're a Leo or an Aquarius, that could be a little bit, that's a kind of a square, and that could be a little bit sort of pushing you, like that could be growth that got too big, too soon, too fast. And you might have to go, oh God, I got to reel this back. I can't even handle all this business. So, sometimes being too big can be a problem, people who win the lottery, sometimes they lose all that money because they don't know how to handle it and it's too much. And they have people calling them for money and, fourth cousins on the auntie uncle's side that live down the road, they're calling them for the money, and that can be stressful. So too much of a good thing can be a stressful thing. And so that's one of those things that is the deal. Wendy said, that's my business problem, I can't keep up. Well, my friend, I think I told you in a few broadcasts ago that your problem is that you got to let go of the reins a little bit and get some extra help. Because if Jupiter's in Taurus, in your second house, you're going to be making money, honey. So this is called outsourcing. I know you're a creator and you're one of a kind, beautiful, creative soul, but you got to outsource maybe some of the back end stuff, maybe the packaging and the mailing and the eBay and I don't know, whatever you do. It's something that you'll have to outsource because you're having growing pains. You will have growing pains. And so that's a thing. So us Aries, in the Aries sector, Jupiter was in Aries in this last year, Aries Pisces in this last year. And so now we're giving over the reins to Taurus, which is okay. Taurus again is our finances, so that can help us. And Taurus is finances, but it's also love and beauty. It's decorating. It's all that Taurus stuff that I keep talking about. Holding down the fort, finding stability, because that's what we want. In Taurus season, we want stability. We are in the heart of springtime. And so whenever we're in the heart of a fixed sign season, that's what that means. Taurus is a fixed sign. I'm going to be talking more about Taurus. This whole broadcast there's going to be a lot of mention of Taurus. So if you are a water sign, this could also be beneficial for you, like Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Well, Scorpio, like I said, is getting the opposition, but Pisces and Cancer could be getting a nice little boost there, because water and earth have a nice little symbolic, kind of relationship there. But when we talk about fire signs or even air signs, that could be a little more stressful. But again, Taurus is Jupiter is here to help us in this department. It's not here to hurt us. So even Taurus squares or oppositions or whatever they are, even though they're stressful, with Jupiter, it's still good luck and good fortune and optimism. So, it's just a little, maybe less of that. Okay. So it's not a bad thing. So you can hear there's a lot of signs that are going to be feeling this. And again, it's going to be here for roughly about a year. And we're going to be experiencing that. And so, yay, here we are. We're going to be in Jupiter and Taurus season. And so that's a good thing to know. It's good luck, good fortune, optimism. And like I said, except if Jupiter interacts with who, maybe you don't, that would be Pluto. And that's exactly what's happening this week. So good news and bad news. Yay, Holly. She said, I finally got a new job with a big raise. Hallelujah. Amen. There you go. Jacoy said, is it possible for Taurus to be in 2 houses? Yes, exactly it is. It looks like it's touching your 11th, but mostly in the 12th. Yeah, so initially it'll be in your 11th house just for that little period of time, and then it'll be in the 12th. I am not what they call a whole sign astrologer, meaning that I go by the exact, whatever the exact chart is, the exact time and all that. A lot of modern astrologers are kind of going to the dark side of whole sign astrology. I don't know why you would do it. It's kind of like if you're talking about a number like 45, it's kind of like you're rounding up to 50 or going down to 40. I don't believe in that. If it's 45, it's 45. Period. So that to me, so when you're talking about it's a little here and a little there, that's exactly how I do it, because if you are a whole sign astrologer, it puts it 100%. It may, let's, for example, using Jacoy as an example, it would 100% put the planet in the 12th house instead of having it a little here and a little there. But I feel like you missed the nuances then. So initially, Jacoy in the 11th house, for the small time it's in there, it'll give you a boost in your area of friendships and groups of people. It's been in there probably. And then it'll shift into the 12th house, which is the area of rest, renew, rejuvenate, and restore. So then you'll have a big year of resting. And also that's an area of spirituality and things like that. So I hope that helps explain Jacoy. I have so many people. The chat is going. Kelly said, so busy at work, it's been overwhelming. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's big problems that could be that could be something to deal with. Oh, Teresa Fletcher, it's your birthday too. Happy birthday. And a bunch of people. So everybody wish Almir and Teresa a happy birthday this week. That's awesome. Ashley said, I prefer more specific astrology that you do. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, Jacoy said, oh, thank God. Laugh out loud. Yeah, the longer it's in the 11th house, that's a good thing. Okay, so basically, like I said, good news, bad news. The bad news is that this week, there's going to be a square between Jupiter and Pluto. Now, anytime Jupiter and Pluto interact, this is a big thing. So remember when I said this year, there's a couple of big things this year? Well, Jupiter moving into a new sign is always headline news. And then anytime Jupiter does any interaction with Pluto, that's headline news too. And so these are two of the most extreme planets. Remember, I just got done saying Jupiter is actually the largest planet in our solar system other than the sun, which is technically a star. So Jupiter is huge, you know, it makes everything big. And Pluto basically is the planet that that is extreme. So when you come to these two, now Pluto is said to rule Scorpio. Jupiter is said to rule Sagittarius. That's why I think I flubbed earlier on and I said Sagittarius. I think that's why. It's a lot of data that's up here. And so it's basically one of those things that when we have these two big extreme sort of planets, and they're big and they're kind of crazy and off the chart, and it's very black or very right or very all the way over here and very all the way over there, these two, when they kind of interact with each other, and in this case it's a square, it's not as pretty. And so always, in fact, there's a lot of, so believe it or not, in astrology, there's actually financial astrologers. In other words, astrologers that's all they do is they study financial markets and things like that. JP Morgan has been known to have financial astrologers on board. There's all kinds of companies that have hired financial astrologers. And they're usually, when I talk about a financial astrologer, it's usually somebody who's both like a stock market broker and an astrologer in one person. And it's its own specialty. It's pretty fabulous if you think about that. And so financial astrologers, financial astrology experts always look to patterns where there's Jupiter or Pluto involved, because it can be big money, big over the top money. But when basically when this starts, and this is, by the way, a couple of people asked when this is happening. This is going to be on Wednesday of this week. I told you it was good news, bad news. Wednesdays this week on May 17th. The height or the peak of it is 9:11 p.m. Eastern time. But this thing is active almost the whole month. And so with these two interacting, okay, because now Jupiter's going to be 0 degrees Taurus, and then Pluto's pretty much 0 degrees Aquarius. And Taurus and Aquarius are fixed signs, right? Fixed. These two basically are going to be interacting in a kind of stressful, negative way. And it's almost like basically Taurus likes calm, stable, like I just said, we're seeking stability now. And Aquarius doesn't want that. Aquarius wants change. Aquarius wants innovation. Aquarius wants invention. And when these two kind of come together, but they're not coming together in a very positive way. They're coming together in a stressful way. Now, I want to give you guys a real life example, because, you know, I think that sometimes we have these esoteric concepts, but like, what does this mean in real life? Well, we just saw something that played out when, do you remember Mr. Elon Musk purchasing Twitter? In his astrological chart, Jupiter and Pluto were actually opposing each other. They were opposite of each other. Now, I'm not talking about an opposition. I'm talking about a square. Oppositions are probably the worst. And then square is second worst, okay? So second most stressful, I'll say. So when he purchased Twitter, I, first of all, didn't even think it would go through, to be honest with you, because he has this opposition, Jupiter opposing Pluto, in his astrological chart. Well, unfortunately, it did go through, and they forced him to buy Twitter, right? He had to end up going through with the purchase, and he had to buy Twitter. Well, he lost half of his wealth from that transaction. He lost half of his wealth. So when we talk about a stressful kind of time, when Jupiter, I just told you, Jupiter and Pluto interactions are very tied to financial. So whenever somebody has something in their chart like that, really pay attention. So this is not happening for you and me personally in our charts. This is happening more globally. So just to give you an example, so we will probably see some stock market stuff and financial, like, oh, we have to, you know, the debt ceiling and all that. See, this has been going on all month. And like I said, tomorrow's the peak of it, and then they start to move away from each other, but very extremely slowly, because when you're talking about Pluto and Jupiter, it takes them a really long time to get anywhere. So, I mean, all this time, Pluto's been in Aquarius since March. It's still at 0 degrees. It's like parked there. So it's going to take some time to kind of move apart. So that's why I said all through, we're going to hear about debt ceilings and financial things now. Whenever we hear about these two, there's always violence on the news. We've heard there's been a lot of shootings and a lot of just things coming together when it's like been really big. And yeah, so it's been kind of rough. Now, again, it's not happening for you and me personally. It's in the global skies. So we're still affected. Jupiter is in our chart somewhere and Pluto's in our chart somewhere, but is it interacting with any of your inner planets? Now, if it's interacting with your personal planets, then you are going to be feeling that. But if it's like kind of in an empty space, like a couple of people said, oh, but it's in this house, but it's kind of empty. Well, then you're only gonna be feeling it like the rest of us. Like, we'll be seeing stuff on the news and we'll be reading things in the paper and whatever, if anybody gets a paper anymore. And so that'll be something that basically plays out. Oh, Wendy, you're a perfect example. Wendy just posted on the chat, and I like to give these examples, like take these esoteric concepts and bring them into real life so you can really see how this plays out. So Wendy just said her Jupiter's in her 10th house, which is career, and Pluto's in her 5th house, which is her area of creativity. And Wendy's a professional artist, and she was just saying, my business is blowing up. Well, yeah, Jupiter's in your area of career, and then Pluto is in your area of creativity, 5th house. It is going to be big right now, but remember what I was saying to you. That's going to be growing pains. That's just going to be growing pains. We're not Elon Musk, and we're not going to lose half our wealth, right? Cancel clear. But it's something that basically, I'm just using him as a real life example of like, how do these things go and how do these things work out? And so I love it when you guys post, oh, Joanne, happy birthday. Joanne's birthday too. Oh my goodness. You guys are there's so many Tauruses on here. Wow. This is amazing. So Almir, Teresa, and Joanne, happy birthday, everybody. So if you guys, and somebody said her son's birthday, it's a heavenly birthday for Joanne's son. So we will wish him and send him lots of prayers and love from our heart. And yeah, so we have a lot of planetary sort of energy, but this is also a little bit stressful. Like I said, growing pains or how much is too big and all these kind of things. So we will be feeling this globally. Again, it's happening. The peak of it, the height of it, the pinnacle of it is Wednesday. Oh, Joanne, it's your oldest son. I'm sorry. I apologize. So he's here on the planetary, on our planetary Earth. Yes, Jupiter square Pluto can be stressful, and especially when it comes to financial, but big money is out there and big money is to be had. So big money moves could be made this week. It is a square, so sometimes it means that, it's like you have to think about, is your business taking on debt, or are you having to, cash out stocks and move them from here to here? There's going to be a lot of money sort of things going on this week. Somebody said that they were applying for something. I missed it. The chat went so fast. So I wouldn't say to shy away from it, because we're not, being forced to buy Twitter. We're not Elon Musk. And that was an extreme, because that was his personal Jupiter and his personal and transiting, I believe, Pluto were opposing each other, and that was creating the stress. So anytime Jupiter and Pluto, know that could be a big money trigger. Now, it is a stressful square, but this could be a win the lottery kind of situation. So I'm not saying that it's all bad. It's one of those, like, it could make or break it. I always say the motto of Pluto, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You know what I mean? Like, that can be a very Plutonian sort of saying, because it's like, go big or go home, go all in, or be out. And so that's what Jupiter and Pluto kind of set up this sort of stress for. But be on the lookout for opportunity, because if you do have opportunity coming at this time, this could blow you up and make you bigger. And here's the thing. Are you ready to succeed in your life? Are you ready for success? Are you prepared for success? It's like, It's like, let's say you make jewelry online and you post your necklaces, but you only made 10 of them and you posted them. Well, let's say you get, 105 orders, okay? And you only made 10. Oh God, what am I going to do? So that could actually be a real problem. I mean, like that's how we call it, a stressful sort of money problem, right? Like it all came in and all came in at once, but oh, holy wow, like we weren't prepared for that. So it's good to know where Jupiter and Pluto are falling within your astrological chart, to know how this sort of stressful, growing pains kind of situations coming in. And like I said, it can be dark because Pluto is dark. We can't get away from Pluto being dark. Pluto is sort of mucky. Pluto is shadow work. Pluto is looking at, the shadow side of ourselves and kind of feeling, intense and sort of feeling, all the stuff. Oh my goodness, Anita, you asked a perfect question. I'm going to use Anita. So she said, is now a good time to seek legal advice? So Jupiter is the ruler of the legal department in our charts. It is also the ruler of long distance, long-term travel. It's also the ruler of academia and higher education and learning. So colleges or getting an adult certificate or some kind of a thing. And so having that sort of time with Pluto and Jupiter, I'm not saying to shy away and don't do this or don't do that. What I would say is don't get embroiled in or bite off too much that you can't chew. Okay, that's what the danger of this is really, like, that's what Elon Musk did, right? He bit off way more than he could chew. I think he just said he's going to acquiesce or something, and I don't know, somebody else is going to run it. I've been hearing all kinds of things, but Twitter, but with Elon, that's basically kind of what happened. He bit off way more than he can chew. Now, most of us can't make $1 billion mistake, it's like one of those things. So yes, Anita, I would say this is a good time to seek legal advice for sure, because Jupiter is involved, and this could really make it or break it. This could really get something, kind of rolling. And so we have this energy. I mean, it's just about, can I handle this? Am I prepared for success? What if things blow up? Am I prepared for that? Does my schedule allow for things, or will I need extra help, or will I need more supplies, or will I need, any kind of thing? Now, those of us who work in a 9-to-5 paid job, you might not feel this much of a flux going on. You might read about it more on the news or different. I'm telling you, we're going to see a lot of this debt ceiling conversation and possibly interest rates and all these kind of things going on really this month. Not even just this week, it's this month, but it's coming to a peak or a head, or right at this week. And that again, Almir said, look at the numerology. Yeah, I know. 9:11 p.m. on Wednesday, May 17th. So those two are going to be coming to a crisis point or ahead. Pam said hello from Vermont. Yay. So yes, Anita, I would say go for it. Yes. Kelly said she has Pluto in the 3rd house, Jupiter in the 6th house. Okay. So that's going to be your day-to-day activity, also health, sort of stuff. And yeah, communication, Kelly, that'll be interesting. Hello, Ashley Jean. Okay, so moving on, because there's still more for me to cover, so I have a lot to cover this week. Next I'm going to talk about the new moon. Okay, because let's guess what that's in? Taurus. Everything I'm talking about this week, it's Taurus. So if you are a Taurus, you are really feeling this. I would totally buy a lottery ticket this week, and I am not responsible for any losses. Ashley Jean, Vermont, from Vermont, Virgo sun. Yay, welcome. Leo rising. New moon coming on this Friday. So, every week there's a major lunar thing. There's 4 quarters to the moon, there's new moon, there's the 2nd quarter lunar cycle, there's the full moon, and then there's the 4th quarter lunar cycle. So there's 4 cycles, and this week is the new moon time. Now, this particular new moon is special for several reasons. So first of all, it's going to be taking place at 28 degrees. So right at the end of Taurus, 28 degrees Taurus. It doesn't go to 30, it goes to 1. So it goes 29.59 and then it goes to 0. So that's basically right at the end, because we're about to shift into Gemini season pretty soon. I can't even believe, I feel like this time is just rolling. On Sunday, we're moving into Gemini season. So basically what the deal is, we have the new moon in Taurus, but the reason why I said it's a special new moon is it's also what's called a black moon. Now, you guys have heard about once in a blue moon, right? I mean, like for a full moon, oh, it happens once in a blue moon. Well, the definition of a full moon, a blue moon, is having 2 full moons in the same month, and that's a blue moon. The second out of the 2 is called a blue moon. Well, there's a saying for new moons as well. So if there's 2 new moons in a month, it's called, the second one is also called a black moon. But in this month, there's 2 definitions of a black moon. And this one is called a seasonal black moon. So it means that there was 4 new moons in this season of spring. That only happens once every 33 months, okay? So that's why it's once in a blue moon, right? So instead of it being a blue moon, because it's a new moon, it's a black moon. And so this is like an extra, a bonus new moon, basically, if you will. And so it's going to be taking place, like I said, in Taurus. It's going to be Friday, May 19th, and the peak or the height of it is 11:53 a.m. Eastern time. So earlier than that, if you're out on the West Coast or Pacific or Central time or Mountain time or whatever time zone you're in, or even if you're in another country, just minus or plus, from that. So Eastern time, 11:53 a.m. Eastern time. So really almost noon on Friday is going to be the black moon, and that's going to be in Taurus, 28 degrees Taurus. So basically, this is a wonderful new moon. So I like Taurus new moons because, again, what is Taurus? Money and love, money and love, money and love, money and love, money and love. So I mean, I'll take all the good stuff you can get in those 2 departments. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but bring on the money and the love. And so when we're talking about the new moon in Taurus, we're definitely talking about starting a new financial cycle. And remember, the last new moon was yucky because it was like there was all these sort of like kind of weird things going on at the time, and that was in Aries, because remember we had 2 new moons in a row in Aries. Remember I told you we had like a little extra new moon in there. So now we have a new moon in Taurus, which is all about grounding, stability, money, finances, your assets, your cars, boats, houses, planes, whatever thing you own, okay, antiques, okay, things like that. I thought I put my little stone here. I had a stone for you guys. I don't know where I put it. Oh, well. I was going to pull out a stone to show you, because I love to talk about stones and crystals and things. Rita said, I need to buy a lottery ticket. Yes, buy 2. Wendy said, I love all the money. Kelly said, all I need, love and money, love and money. Thank you, Wendy. Wendy said, God, you're cute. You guys are awesome. And by the way, if you like these videos and you find value in them, definitely tag a friend in the show notes. You can comment, tag a friend, like the video, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps, and that way you'll know when I go live. And so, yeah, so all the good stuff, okay? So also Taurus, I haven't talked about this. I feel like it's been a half a minute because we have had so many other things, but Taurus, the archangel that is sort of is associated with Taurus is Archangel Chamuel, and that's peace. Chamuel always wants peace on earth, or peace, just peace. This is the card from Doreen Virtue's Archangel deck, peace, okay, Chamuel. Peace comes from remembering that only love is real. Also, Chamuel is about love and, like I said, money. So we have career and we have beloved one. These are cards that Archangel Chamuel is sort of associated with in this particular deck. And so I like to show you guys things, you know, makes the broadcast a little bit more interesting. When it comes to, here, I'll use this stone. When it comes to different stones, when you're wanting to manifest during the new moon time, you definitely want to be able to use maybe rose quartz is a wonderful stone, especially if you're looking for love or self-love, romantic love, love of a child, a loved one, you know, whoever that you're sort of wanting to kind of have more love with or from. And then also remember self-love. Aventurine, which is I don't know where it went. I guess I wasn't meant to show it to you. Aventurine is another one, and that's like a green stone. So it almost looks like a jade. That's one of my favorite ones. And that one's good for money, okay, because it's a green stone and it's good for good luck. It's good for money. And it's also associated with Jupiter. So I thought I wanted to bring that and show that to you because that's a good one for manifesting. Another good one is tiger's eye. Now this one is tiger iron, which I've shown you guys this before. And this is a wonderful grounding stone. So if you're looking for that more grounding energy from Taurus, you might want to go tiger's eye or tiger iron. That might be very good. And those are all stones that are associated with Taurus. I really don't feel like there's any bad stones or wrong stones that you could use. I mean, honestly. Wendy said, how about malachite? So malachite, there's two stones that I find to be extremely intense. One is malachite and the other is lapis. Lapis is that really deep royal blue, and malachite is that really deep like green colored, and they're beautiful. I love malachite and I've been really attracted to it, but I find if I wear it too many days in a row, I get headaches. I know it sounds weird, but I get headaches from it. And so malachite is a good stone. It's green, but it's very powerful. A little drop will do you, you know, it's like a little bit of malachite, and using it sparingly, like not having it around you too much. Now, lapis, I will say on the other hand, is, it's intense also. In fact, if somebody gets surgery, I usually give them lapis because it's very intense healing stone. But it's sometimes too intense for everyday wear, I feel. Sometimes people are not as sensitive and they can have lapis and malachite and they'll be fine with it. I'm a very sensitive person. If you're an HSP, highly sensitive person, or an empath, you guys might feel like those are too much. Those stones might be too much. But if you're looking for the Taurus stones, I was going to highlight those three tonight, which is rose quartz, which is aventurine, and also tiger's eye or tiger's iron. If you have tiger's iron, tiger's iron has tiger's eye in it, plus other stones in there. And so basically those are really good stones to have. So yeah, so if you want to write out your new moon manifestation list, remember, write it out after the peak of the new moon, if you want to do it. Now look, if you only want to write it out in the morning because that's the only time you have, you know, it's something that you can do whenever you want to do. I always say there's no wrong doing here. I'd rather have you do it versus forgetting it. Okay, that's the baseline. But if you want to do it more correctly, I would do it after 11:53 a.m. on Friday. So that night you can you get home from work and then you could write it out on Friday night, whatever floats your boat. And then you want to take it. How I always write my new moon manifestation list is I always take it and write it. Thank you angels, thank you spirit guides, thank you guardians, thank you for bringing me all this prosperity, love, whatever, abundance that you want from your life. Yes, you can be specific, but I always say kind of leave the how it comes to you off of the list. Okay, so if you're saying, I only want money from the lottery, well, then you're blocking all the other forms of money. So you don't want to do that. So I like to leave it open and thank you for bringing me abundance. And so it's something that, you know, you might want to sort of play with and kind of leave it more open, like like somewhat specific, like if you want better health, or if you want, whatever it is that you want. Now, remember, up until Friday this week, we are still in the full moon time. So that's about letting go, letting go, letting go. But once we get to Friday, 11:53 a.m., boop, we're into the harvesting, pulling in, planting new seeds, and all of those things. Write it as if it's already happened, Wendy. Yes, I always say, thank you for bringing me more abundance. Thank you for bringing me more love. Thank you for bringing me excellent health. All of those things, or continuing to bring me excellent health. Whatever it is that you're working on in your life, I can't tell you what to do, but basically, just to kind of give you an idea. And it doesn't have to be things. It can be improve my relationship with so-and-so. Help us to find understanding and peace and all that. Remember that that's what Archangel Chamuel, who is the archangel that's associated with Taurus, wants. Helps us with peace and having peace in our world, and also peace in our life. But I write it as if it's already happened, and I'm just thanking them because they're already working on it. They're already working on it. So, and then I take that list and I fold it up, put it under my pillow, sleep with it, and then 2 weeks later, burn or destroy the list on the next full moon. Because remember, I always say there's every single week there's some lunar activity. The next full moon, which is going to be coming, is June 3rd. That's Saturday, June 3rd, and that will be in Sagittarius. The sun is in Gemini because it'll be Gemini season by then. And then the full moon will be opposing that, which is always what happens in the full moon time. The new moon time is where the sun and the moon are both in the same sign, both in Taurus, 28 degrees Taurus, 28 degrees Taurus, sun, moon. They're going to be right on top of each other. And so we have like sort of, aligning here, and so that's why it's considered to be nicer and more gentle. So that's a bright spot this week. So we have a couple bright spots. I mean, Jupiter moving into Taurus, that's a bright spot. We have the new moon in Taurus, and that's a bright spot. But we have this contentious energy going on in the background. Now, the reason why this is so contentious, the other reason why, is because not only is Jupiter squaring Pluto, you can see my face is like, we're getting serious now. Jupiter is squaring Pluto, but also Mars is involved. Yikes. And what's going to happen on Saturday is Mars is going to oppose Pluto. So Jupiter square Pluto, Mars opposing Pluto. Remember I said the worst one, the hardest one, is an opposition. The last time that Jupiter squared Pluto, because remember, these are big planets, so they don't have, this doesn't happen very frequently. Happened back between 2016 and 2017. It actually happened a couple times back then, probably because of a retrograde cycle. Okay. So 2016 and 17, what was going on in your life at that point? Jupiter was squaring Pluto at that time, in that point. And good news, it won't happen again until the year 2029. Okay. So that's a big thing too. But we have we have a T-square that's happening. So a T-square is basically where these planets are all going to be kind of involved in it's kind of confusing, but it's actually a triangle. So one of them is going to be Mars, the other is Pluto, and then both of them are going to be interacting with Jupiter up here. So Jupiter is at the pinnacle, the top of the triangle. And so Mars is basically going to be in Leo, okay, at that time, because what's happening is on Saturday, May 20th, 2023, in that morning, Mars is going to be moving into Leo at 11:31 a.m. Eastern time. See, I told you there's a lot of energy this week. So Mars is in Leo at that point, 0 degrees Leo. So later on that night at 11:12 p.m., that night on Saturday, is when Mars opposes Pluto. So it's 0 degrees Leo. And then I just told you, Jupiter's 0 degrees Taurus, and then Pluto's 0 degrees Aquarius. So The missing one out of the fixed signs, because those three are fixed signs, the missing one is Scorpio. And it always is said in astrology, I feel like I need to draw this so that you can really get a like sort of more of a sense. So we have like a situation kind of like this. Oh, great. Now my pen's dying. You can see Mercury retrograde still active, right? So this is kind of what the TSquare is like, but there's a missing point down here, right? This kind of imaginary sort of thing down here. This missing point is Scorpio. Okay, that's not involved in this, but it is said the way out of this, because this is quite negative, I'm sorry to say, but it is quite negative and quite hostile. The way out of it is the scorpionic sort of thing. So basically what the deal is we have some real difficult energy. And it's kind of all sort of taking place. Yes, is there going to be some other backdrop kind of things helping to soften it a little bit? Yeah. But T-squares are really considered to be one of the most difficult sort of alignments that are in a chart. And so that's what's happening in the general skies right now. Now, again, it's not happening to you personally unless one of those planets are interacting with one of your inner planets or more, one or more. So it's, yeah, exactly, Kelly. It's a lot of growth. This is like huge growing pains, basically. So if you're a Scorpio, you're going to be feeling this shadow of this because it's kind of like, well, what about me? I'm over here. So Taurus is see it, hear it, feel it, touch it, smell it. Okay. Leo likes to be passionate and live from the heart. Aquarius likes to be detached and sort of removed and more intellectual. And then where is the Scorpio? Scorpio is the depth. Scorpio is looking beneath the surface. Scorpio wants to find the answers. Scorpio wants to take a deep dive and sort of go, all right, let's analyze this. Let's figure this out. So that means if you're feeling any tension from this week, and some people will and some people won't, but there's global tension right now that people are going to feel. And that's why I like to do these broadcasts, to make you aware of what's going on, is that we have to kind of think, we're going to have to really lean into it more and really devote some time. It's not something that we can push away or push under the carpet and go, this will go away. It's like we have to go into the Scorpio lens and go, wait a minute, how can I figure this out? How can I analyze this and get to the bottom of this and sort of figure this out and do my research and go beneath the scenes and behind the scenes and sort of really figure out what's going on? And also, how do I use my intuition? See, the way out of this is the missing point. It's the Scorpio lens. Okay, that's the way out of this. So if you are experiencing any of the tension, this is power struggles. I'm telling you, there's going to be all kinds of violence on the news this week. It just is what it is. Because I always say, if people are struggling with mental health, with addictions, with, any kind of thing that you're teetering, I'm just teetering, I'm barely holding on, this is one of those times that it can go boop and sort of fall, So unfortunately, it's something that we go through. And yes, somebody said it is a growth point. It's growth through adversity though, usually. So Mars can be quite violent. Pluto can be terrorism, Jupiter just makes it all bigger. Okay. Jupiter just is making all of this bigger. And unfortunately, Jupiter, it's not like Jupiter's neutral. Jupiter does have good luck, good fortune, all that. But when we talk about Jupiter can be tough. When we think about even when Jupiter and Pluto came together in the conjunction, which was, I can't remember what year it was. I think it was 2020. Was right when the pandemic, those two, by the way, when Jupiter and Pluto get together, they can be illnesses, pandemics, whatever mass kind of things are going on. So this is a little not so fun, but again, this is the global energy. And so it might not even affect you directly. There's going to be people who are like, it wasn't too bad. I had some people get irritated with me at the grocery store. They cut me off when I was driving, but other than that, it was pretty good. And there's going to be other people that are like, holy crap, this was awful, So it's a mixed bag, because whenever these global things act up, yeah, we all feel it. And especially if we're sensitive, if we are sensitives or HSPs or empaths, or if you're one of those astrological fixed signs, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, you are in the heart of that fixed nature. Aries will feel this too, because Mars is involved. Sagittarius is going to feel this too. Scorpio, I told you, is going to feel it. So there's a lot of energies and a lot of signs that are sort of involved with all this. So I'm sorry to say, even Pisces sort of is an outlier in some of this for a different reason, which I won't go into. It's just too complicated and I don't want to overwhelm all of you. But Pisces is an outlier in some of this as well. So Pisces wants to dream big, you know, and so a little bit of imagination could also help us here, and intuition. I really feel like this is a week that if there's any like super overly simplified message that I could give to you, is to follow your intuition. Intuition is going to be the biggest player here. Trusting your gut feeling. And if it feels like a ha, yay, or if it feels like a clunk, no, then it's something that you have to kind of go, you're looking for a ping, oh, this feels good, this is lovely. Or a clunk is like your whole body. It's like, I want to be happy about this, but I don't know why I'm not, you know? And so that's the clunk and the kind of coming down. So, whew, it's a lot. So over the weekend, and I'm just going to barely touch on this, we do have Mars. I feel like I was just talking about Mars moving into Cancer, but Mars is moving into Leo. And so wherever Leo is in your astrological chart, we're going to get a little Mars energy. Okay, Mars fires us up and helps us. Remember, Mars is associated with royalty. So being an entrepreneur, being a supervisor, being a manager, being a boss, being a star, being ahead of, that's Leo energy. So if you need a little extra self-confidence, Mars in Leo can really help with extra self-confidence. And then on Sunday, which I'm, again, not going to go into this week because it's just too much, we start Gemini season on Sunday. So that's going to happen on Sunday, May 21st, and that's at 3:09 a.m. Eastern time. The sun moves into Gemini, and I'm going to cover that next week because, again, it's too much. And even on that day, the sun is going to form a trine with Pluto. There's a lot of Pluto energy, a lot of Mars energy, a lot of Jupiter energy this week. It's a lot of energy. So just know that some people said something about stones for Scorpio on the broadcast. I really feel if you don't have any stones at home, you need to have some of these darker stones. I do sell Opulenza jewelry, which is a jewelry that I represent. I'm a representative. I always put it in the show notes on every post. But if you like jewelry, you don't have, you can have just a stone. It's fine. But if you are a jewelry lover like I am, these dark stones, onyx, hematite, this is jet, okay, which is jet is lighter. We have more hematite here, all kinds of darker stones. That's for grounding. So somebody said something about what would we need to navigate. If you don't have any of those other stones that I was mentioning when I was talking about Taurus, definitely having black stones, any kind of black stone, jet, onyx, black tourmaline, any kind of the black stones. Obsidian is good. They're very good for grounding. So if you're finding yourself, this is too much energy, or you might need a little protection, because not only is it grounding, this is protection. Black stones are protection. So that can help you too. If you're getting some of the negative, because this can be power plays. This can be people fighting. This can be all kinds of, with Mars and Pluto, it's a very tense, especially Wednesday and especially Saturday, but it's all week. Really, I'm just talking about the hot spots, but it's like kind of all week. So yes, Joanne said, I love hematite. Yeah, this is one of my favorite hematite. This is hematite and silver balls, and this is from Opulenza jewelry collection. It's very heavy. It is like one of those slip-on ones, but it's a very high quality, and so anyway, I love it. But I love hematite. Actually, it is said with stones and crystals that you remember that little saying of like, whatever you say to me bounces off of me and back to you. That's actually kind of what hematite does. Hematite helps to deflect negative energy away from away from us. So that's why I love hematite energy, hematite stones. I always wear hematite a lot. So yeah, so I hope that helps everybody. That was this week in astrology. I do have time to answer just maybe one or two questions, you know, after, but we have a lot. We have a lot of energy, and I'm going to also pull a collective card, one card that is going to be for the week. What do we need to know? And yeah. But I know sometimes people have, oh yeah, rainbow hematite. That's beautiful. Woo, I love that. Rita said, yes, I'm going to take Onyx to work with me for the rest of the week. Heck yes, girl. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Marguerite, you'd like me to pull a card regarding a friend who reached out again, probably during Mercury retrograde, huh? Last spring, didn't feel real. Now again, another attempt to reconcile your friendship. Can you trust her intentions? Marguerite, was that in the last 3 weeks? Because that was when Mercury was retrograde. Marguerite, if you're still on, go ahead and comment below. Yay. Yeah, she reached out today. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so Mercury's still, remember, Mercury hasn't even moved yet. Mercury is still what we call stationary retrograde. Remember, the planets don't just stop and start. You know, it's like Mercury has to stop, slow, is going retrograde, stop, slow down, stop, stationary retrograde, and then it goes or stationary direct, and then it goes back again. So it hasn't even started moving yet. Probably won't even start moving until the end of the week. So yeah, so that's still under the Mercury retrograde bubble. Okay, Marguerite. That's what happened. She probably was thinking about you the entire time that Mercury was retrograde, and then finally like fired off and pulled the trigger and contacted you. Marguerite wants to know if she can trust this. Sorry, I'm trying to pull, trying to get my cards. I just decided to do 52 pickup here. Let me pull a card for Marguerite. What does she need to know? What does she need to know? You guys are awesome, by the way. Thank you so much for joining me on Monday nights. You guys have been the best. And yes, I have been doing this since 2020, probably even, well, I mean, I've been doing some kind of astrological thing really since 2009. But the videos, I think, have been since 2019, the end of, or 2020. Too many to read there, Marguerite. Let's see. What does she need to know about this friend? Well, you have a lot of cards that are jumping. Whenever cards start jumping, it means there's a lot of energy around this. So this friend has, in the past, been going through a lot. Like, this might be one of those friends that is, how do I say this? Nothing but drama. Like one of those, like, kind of like every phone call is like, oh my God, you won't believe blah, 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 and all this stuff, like the kids and my ex and blah, 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 and like there's a lot of me, and things are going bad with me, and things are, and it's not like I'm asking you a lot of questions. It's more of like, let me verbally vomit onto you and tell you about all my stress and all my, because and that sometimes happens. We all have been in that place where it's like there's just a lot going on. But then we become kind of selfish a little bit, and we don't mean to be, but I do feel like as if that's what was happening, because I feel like in the past when this breakup happened, Marguerite, I feel like as if this friend was going through one of those times in their life. Like it feels very stressful. And genuinely, it's not like she made it up, like, but she might be a little bit of a drama person, but you know, I don't know. I feel like as if she had time to reflect. And I will tell you, I feel like she had time to reflect and is going to take ownership of what she did. When you said, I don't feel like I can trust her, I think I feel like she went through a really bad time and then did some things that were not cool. Like, I just kind of, that's kind of how I feel about it. I feel like as if there were just some things, and I won't go into specifics. I just feel like as if there were some things she did, but it was based out of this sort of selfish place, of being kind of wrapped up in her own little, like stuff. There was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes with her. And that can do that. Sometimes trauma and drama can really make us a little bit more selfish and self-focused. And I don't feel like she was like, it was a lot of, how are you doing? What's going on? I just wanted to see how you are, and that kind of thing. I feel like because she was more selfish, but I feel like that's changing. I feel like she had a lot of time to think about it. She really, really misses you. And I feel like as if a lot of this has changed. Here's the thing. I always say to people, if you're going to let an ex back, or if you're going to let a former friend back, or whatever it is, what has changed? What has changed? I always ask that question. What has changed? What has changed in their life that they are going to be? Have they gotten help? Have they gotten more reflection and more, self-introspection? Like what changed in their life that now that you're going to basically let them back in? But it is saying that she's doing better. And that she had some self-reflection. Like, this is the sun, this is a very positive card. There was a dead tree, a beautiful new tree, butterfly, metamorphosis, change. This is literally the card's name is regeneration, change. So it means something changed, because this is where she was. She was in a horrible place. This was the place that she was in. And so this one's definitely better than this one. I mean, so this is a beautiful card, and it's saying it's not all lost. It's not all dead. But here's the thing. So there's two things. What has changed? And then zip it and listen to her. And then the other thing is, I want you to tell her exactly, not dredge up the details. I don't want you to do that, but I want you to say something general, like, in my life, I'm looking for a two-way street. I'm looking for a friendship that's a two-way street. Are you available for that? I have a lot of, interest in you and love for you. And I want to know that love is also a two-way street. And you have to be brave enough to say that. Okay. So, because look, the cards are on the table. Ha ha ha. Just a little astrology tarot humor here. But put your cards on the table and then just see what happens. But it's saying that it's good. It is saying that you can trust this and that it's good. So I hope that helps. I don't know, Marguerite, you haven't said, you said, absolutely, I can do that. That's great. Yay. I just feel like as if that's something that you need to, say, I want it to be a two-way street here with you. And that you are, you're interested in having a mutually beneficial relationship and a mutually supportive relationship. Are you available for that? Instead of saying you did this and you did that, you're just going to end up in the same boat. Instead, talk about what you want. I want a mutually supportive, mutually respect, mutual investment of time. Are you available for that? Whatever it is you want. I want mutual phone calls or whatever floats your boat. But yeah, I do think that will, and I think you're setting the precedent that she's on alert, that this is what you're wanting and expecting and hoping for. And then let water be under the bridge and don't keep bringing it back up and all that. Just sit back and watch. I always say, dating and relationship coaching is no different than friendship coaching, really, because you want to see what does she do with that? Does she step up to the plate? And then just watch her and see what she does. But this is a wonderful time during the new moon to initiate new things on Friday. Oh my goodness, everybody's reaching out today. Yay. Yeah, Danielle said that you're late to the party, but you're hoping it's going to be intense energy. It is going to be intense, but this is a lot of breakthrough, a lot of money available to us and different things. So I hope that helps. Somebody was talking about, let's see here. Joanne said your niece had a procedure done and a lot of pain. Was it done during Mercury retrograde? Hopefully not. Let me just see what the niece's energy is. Marguerite. Oh, Marguerite said very helpful. Does help a lot. Thank you. You're welcome, Marguerite. Hope you had a big help. All right, so Joanne, about your niece. What's the deal with the niece? Yeah, it feels like there's like, oh, like almost like nerve pain or something. It's saying that it's going to be okay, but I'm getting like this feeling of like almost shooting pains. Like it feels like there is a nerve or something going on. Like a shooting, like I almost feel like after you have a dentist pain kind of pain, you know, like when you go to the dentist office and it's like like when they hit like that, you know, like a nerve or whatever, and it's like, oh, you know, it's like that kind of pain. It might not literally be dental pain, but it might be the oh gosh. Okay, surgery was a month or so ago and positioning was awful to her back. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm feeling. It's like a when you get okay, so like you know how you go to the dentist office and you get like a zinger and it like really hurts? That's the type of pain it is. I'm not saying it has to be in the mouth, but it's like a shooting sort of nerve kind of pain. And it feels like it's rough. Like, ugh, I don't like it. It's like a zinger. Yeah. It's saying that to have faith. Okay, so it doesn't, I don't feel like it's going to be there forever, but boy, this is a longer recovery time. This is a longer recovery time for this. Like I'm talking about maybe in the summertime, where this, I would definitely, if it's her back, I would definitely go to a chiropractor or a PT or something, because I feel like as if she has nerve pain, that maybe it pinched a nerve or something in her back, and it's like it like just is like, ugh, this is awful pain, like a searing kind of deal. So I would look into chiropractic or going you know, and just basically because it's rough. And that's rough, you know, I mean, and doing that. But I feel like, I hope that helps. But yeah, I would get it looked into further, like a PT, physical therapy, or a chiropractor, because I feel like as if there was maybe a pre-existing kind of thing there, and then having the surgery like put a strain or pressure or something on it, and it was just awful. Oh no. Holly said, I'm being admitted to the hospital for a foot infection right now. So if everybody could send Holly some extra energy, and also Joanne's niece that has pain, we can send you lots of love and Reiki, and I know some people watching are Reiki people, but if anybody could send her, just even if you just send her in your mind's eye, just lots of love and light, that would be a good thing. Okay, Danielle, you want to know about what is your, so there's a lot of good, as far as money goes, Danielle, this week, even though it's stressful a little bit, there is some money to be had here. Okay. So just make sure you're prepared for success. That's what I was talking about, Danielle. So I'm going to pull a card quickly. What does she need to know about that astrological energy for this week on her job interview? Is this the job? This is interesting. Let me just see. What does Danielle need to know about this job? Well, you are getting Mars, so you're going to have to fight for it. Okay, but it's saying that there's money to be had here. This is the card of love, money, and creativity, Danielle. I don't know if you're still on the broadcast or not, but hopefully you are. But this is a money card, so that's good. That's big money, but be prepared. I don't know if there's going to be travel with this or something, but be prepared, because I do feel like as if be prepared that you might have to leave or come back or something. Leave and come back. Travel. But I know you like to travel, so that could be a good thing for you. But, you know, also could be stressful. See, that's how this week is. It's like it could be good and a little stressful at the same time. You know, I have a friend one time that was working with manifestation, and she was trying to manifest more business for her business that she had started, and she did. And one day she looked up into the waiting room and it was filled to the brink. Like there was no more people that could even come in the door. And she said, "Oh my gosh, I forgot to put the word manageable into." It was like, "Please universe, make me busy," or "Please universe, but have it be manageable." And so that's something that we want to kind of, when we manifest things, we want to put that into the mix. Manageable. Okay. All right. So I'm going to pull one card for this week. Melinda said healing thoughts for those in need. I love that. You're welcome, Danielle. This one feels better, I'll say. Danielle, so hopefully that helps. And everybody, thank you for tuning in. If you guys want a personalized astrological session, please feel free to contact me for a session. I love doing astrological sessions. And like and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. My goal is 1,000 subscribers this year, and my following is just growing and growing. Every week I get more, so that's good. So yeah, so happy new moon. We have the new moon, okay, on Friday in Taurus, and that's going to be on the 19th, May 19th. That's Friday at 11:53 a.m. We have Jupiter going into Taurus this week on Tuesday, May 16th. We have Mars going into Leo on Saturday, May 20th. We have the Sun going into Gemini season on Sunday, May 21st. And then behind the scenes, we have what's called a T-square between Mars, Pluto, and Jupiter, with an outlier kind of being Pisces and also Scorpio. So basically, we have a lot of astrological energy this week. So what do we need to know this week? What do the angels, spirit guides, and guardians want us to know that will help us to best navigate all of this intense and also just plentiful energy here? What do we need to know this week? Okay, patience. It's interesting because the new moon is about planting new seeds. And if you see, she's an angel in a garden watering her plants. Archangel Chamuel. Your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. So it's kind of like if you plant the new seeds, right? That's the new moon, is you plant the new seeds during the new moon so that you can grow new plants. But if you keep checking on those seeds and like, are they growing? You're digging them up and you're messing with them and you're touching them too much, and then they die, right? So this is saying plant those seeds, but remember, we still have patience. We still need to let things bloom. The universe takes its own time, and that we can't rush things. There's a lot of passionate, intense energy behind the scenes going on, like I just said. We have a lot of passion. There's a lot, and passion sometimes can be good and sometimes it can be too much. It's like we're gonna, just be too intense about it. So we have to make sure that we, yes, plant our new seeds, but also kind of back off. Mars wants a lot of action. So can Pluto. Pluto can be very, and then Jupiter's making it all bigger. So there might be like a go, go, go kind of feeling, but it's not time quite yet. We need to plant the seeds. We need to start new. We need to start slow. Taurus is really slow and steady. It's not like the quickie kind of sign. So it's more about, let's take our time and figure this out. Because overall, we are working on overcoming difficulties here. This is a great card. Archangel Chamuel, the worst is now behind us, and we are surmounting any previous challenges. So we are slowly starting to, kind of get things back on track. So it's about putting things in the rearview mirror, like we were saying, Marguerite, when I answered that question about your friend. Yes, you want to establish rules, boundaries, and everything. I always say the best time to build a fence is when you buy a new house, and like the first day, the first week, put up your new fence. It's harder to put up fences after you live there for 20 years because all of a sudden neighbors are like, whoa, who do they think they are to put up a new fence? This is about putting up a new fence. So when we need to do that, we need to lay down a boundary. We need to be, more patient and sort of, kind of let it all sort of play out. But this is a week of making big moves. So if you're going to make a big move, make a big move, but just remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. We need to give it a half a minute to kind of figure it out. So that's basically what the deal is. I mean, this is a play big kind of week. I mean, for sure, because we got that Jupiter Saturn square. I mean, we want to play big or go home kind of a thing. So we want to do that, but then also kind of sit back and let the universe do its thing. Okay. Let go and let the angels sort of help you, because the angels will help you. I hope that helps. All right, everybody. I love you all and I appreciate you all. And oh, that's so interesting. My light just went out. Oh, that's so funny. Maybe it overheated. Well, we're going to end in the dark, okay? I love you all, and have a wonderful night, and God bless. Take care, and namaste. All right. Bye, everybody.